All right, we back. We back. Ready to do some previewing of the matchups in week 11. Killer, you ready?
Let's do this, man. Let's get into it. It's prime time. Prime time.
Well, all right then. Let's make it happen. My Great Danes take on True Grit. What do you see going on in this matchup here?
The grit is fading. I think they're beaten down. You see that look on Embiid's face and the look on Davis' face? Nah, man.
Concerned.
Nah, man.
As he should be.
He needs those fans.
But wait, Killer. I got a few guys with some things going on.
Yeah.
Beasley is suspended for at least 10 more games. Tobias Harris got a bum knee right now. Joel Embiid got the All-Star game coming up. Who knows what his rest schedule is going to be. He might take the whole 2 weeks off, man. Kyrie, I mean, come on. Kyrie?
He'll play a game or two.
He might play 1 or 2 games, but
that's all you need against this team. Look at that backcourt. Think Kyrie in 1 or 2 games can't outperform Kobe White and Jaylen Brown?
Yeah, you're right. We're going to go with the Danes. All right. Speedsters coming to Brooklyn.
This is as good as it gets.
You got the number 1 team in the league taking on the number 16 team in the league. I mean, I don't want to.
I just don't want to let
this
down.
Team, but
I don't want to let down. Like, my team just needs to bring it. Like, don't pay attention to the opponent and what they're doing, where they're at. Just do the averages, do what we've been doing, and we should be able to single-handedly come away with this victory.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting some good production from your all-stars, Ben Simmons, Paul George, your role players like Joe Harris and Kyle Anderson are chipping in. And
what do you think,
man? What do you think about Bagley's production so far?
He's been solid. You know, he's been able to stick him in the lineup. You know, been happy. You know, some points, some rebounds. Still don't want to watch him too much. You know, he still looks a little bit lost out there. But from a fantasy perspective, it's good enough. Good enough for a util spot. Question for you. What do you think my man Joe Harris is shooting from the 3-point line this season?
Like 50%.
Yes, 51. As of
okay.
51.
I rarely see that guy miss.
How many attempts?
I don't know. He shoots a good amount though.
Yeah,
at least 51, over 100, right?
Yeah, 100. Yeah. 100, so okay. He's shooting 7 a game, and he's hitting at 51%.
Beast, man. I mean, we kind of figured that was going to be that kind of season for Joe Harris, one of the best shooters in the league. So on the plus side for speedsters, they got LaMarcus Aldridge back. He's played in 2 games this past week. One of them a little rusty, and then I think it was last night he had a pretty decent game coming off the bench. So he can be inserted in the lineup. Tyler Hero also came back tonight. He played okay tonight. Hit a couple of threes, 14 points. You know, if Bubble Murray keeps playing and SGA keeps continuing playing the way he has, no, I don't know. Never mind.
Yeah, we just don't need a letdown, man. I see Michael Porter on that list, and I'm just like, man.
Michael Porter, man, he's been pretty decent, man. He's been good. I know you have a problem with Mr. Porter Jr., but
You watch a Nuggets game, you would never put him in your draft queue. You would never. And, I was just fortunate to not get him in any leagues this year just because he went a spot before every time I was going to draft him. But I promise you, if I would have watched the tape, there's no way. Yeah. There's no way. And I've gotten to watch a lot of Nuggets games because I've got Joker in another league. And he's just been amazing, right? And I just see Michael Porter, and I'm just like, shit.
Yeah,
gotta get rid of him.
Hasn't lived up to his ADP this year. Just approaching, a top 100 player. This past week is probably one of his most productive weeks, averaging 15 and 8, almost 3-pointers a game.
3-pointers. Okay, I like that.
In a block. Yeah. So he's been good.
Okay.
He might be making some leeway. So that's a guy to watch. But let's move on to the next matchup. We've got the Beantown Bombers taking on the tough Dame Stop. What do you think about this matchup here?
I think I messed up here. Damn. But you know what? I'm going to roll with it. I think this is very, very tough for the Beantown Bombers if they don't get KD or Kristen Wood back for this matchup. But they've been fighting and clawing, man. Like, even if they lose, it'll be pretty close, I think. Something like a 4-5. Because that's the other thing is they've got other players like Kyle Lowry, which will miss a game or two here. Yeah. But those other two names, Halliburton and Zach LaVine.
Zach LaVine, man. I'm telling you, he's and right now, top 10 player in the league. Play in fantasy, at least.
Right? I mean, those are some players. But Dame Stop, I mean, they got consistent fire, man. They just keep coming, man. They are really the identity of the Portland Trailblazers, man. It feels like the Portland Trailblazers last year, if you remember how they got into the playoffs. They were sitting like 11-12 for most of the season.
So are you saying that Dame Stop could leap a few teams and jump? They've got to leap a couple of teams here. Rucker Park. True Grit.
Well, True Grit. Let's just assume he's leaped at this point. Yeah. Okay, so
we're really talking about the fight for the 8th seed. So we're talking about Rucker Park, who is probably sitting at 9th or 10th right now. And then, so they've got to leap True Grit, which they probably will do in another week or so. And then True Grit, and then Dame Stop has to make a couple of leaps there as well. So,
the irony.
And we haven't talked about the Flyers. The Flyers are there in the mix as well.
The irony of both these teams, Dame Stop and the Busters, both over the luxury tax and fighting for an 8th spot. You got to be kidding me.
I love it. I love irony and parody when it comes to basketball. But yeah, as far as this matchup, I went with Dame Stop in this matchup. I think they have some advantage in terms of games. And one guy you don't see on this list, Kelly Oubre, he's been pretty good these last couple of weeks, averaging like 20-6, 21-6, something like that. Shooting it really efficiently too. I mean, tonight he shot 60% from the field. Golden State got spanked by the Lakers, but Kelly Oubre is looking like that guy that we saw last year. So kudos to Dame Stop for making that trade with me and getting Kelly Oubre on this team.
I remember some random stat like Oubre was shooting like 8% from the 3-point line to start out the season.
Yeah, he didn't start out.
I think now he's like close to like 40 or 50% from the 3 now.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean, he's probably going to finish somewhere in the middle, but it just showed you, just how much growth or potential that was there given his slow start.
Yes, definitely indeed. Draymond, let's talk about Draymond. 6 points tonight. 6 points and 2 assists. That's the guy. That's the guy that I'm expecting to see.
Oh, damn.
But
You just
yeah, as far as this matchup, Capella is just too much, man. Double every night.
Let's circle back to Draymond. I mean, he had 6 and 2 tonight, right? But
I know what he had in the previous game.
Right. You do right. You just worried about the average, right? Like you look at the average and
no. In all seriousness, Draymond is great. He only played 12 minutes tonight, so that's why. That's why. So I just
the devil's in the details. Got it.
Yeah. I just wanted to mess with Draymond a little bit. But yeah, man, he's been double digits rebounds. I mean, Kyle, the guy against Charlotte, he had 19 assists. 19.
No, man.
And only
I told you,
turnovers.
man. Go back, episodes away, man. I told you, man. He delivers that ball on Spalding, man. It's just something magical.
Yeah.
About him and understanding an offense.
The key in his last 3 games for Draymond is how well he's been shooting. Above 60%. I think
60?
Yeah, above 60% his last 3 games. He had an 80% a game when he shot 80% against Indiana, I think it was. Almost had a triple-double that game. So he's been really good for this team. And then again, what Plumlee brings to that mix in terms of how he can distribute the ball. And Al Horford is right in there too. He doesn't play often, but when he does, he can contribute in all those categories. Similar game. I mean, Dame Stop, he knows what he's doing when he's building his teams. So it makes me, it kind of gives some justification as to why he traded you that pick as well. I think he just saw the value in having Plumlee on that team, and it's working out for him. The king of the 5-4 win right now. So I'm going to go with him in this matchup.
It's going to have to start putting together those 6 threes, man, because it's going to be really competitive to get in.
It's going to be tough to get in the playoffs. Just kind of,
5-4 Willie Dealian. Save that for when you get in the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. In the playoffs, that's great. It's a great thing. Bimtown and Midtown. Who's going to run the town tonight, Kyle?
Money man. It's just for me. Blood and my dog, and I can't see. Yeah, I look at those guards, man. Oh, but DeRozan's back. DeRozan's back. But no, CJ, man, I really like Bimtown, man. It's gonna be hard for a long time for me to not choose Bimtown in a matchup. Luka, struggled this past week as we discussed in the Week 9 recap. But just look at those guys, man. I mean, that's just a stellar, core group of players for the Bimtown Celtics, and I think they get it done. They get it done.
Yeah. We're waiting to see the combination of Mike Conley, DeRozan, and CJ McCullough, but it's going to be a while before we see that matchup. That combination. Until then, the Celtics it's hard to pick against them. Devin Booker, All-Star. Luka, All-Star. Chris Middleton should be an All-Star.
Snub.
And then Zion, All-Star. It's gonna be tough to beat this team tonight. Devin Booker, 40 piece going on right now, and it's still going. So it's got 41 right now. Yeah,
it's been hot.
Even though it didn't. But with all that said, it didn't help in their matchup against Titanes de San Juan. So can you see a potential upset here?
I mean, as long as Bimtown is within a game or two in the play department, I think they'll be all right for many of the counting stats that they could potentially be vulnerable to against Midtown.
Yeah, the problem with Midtown too is that some of their role players are just not bringing it. Robert Covington is in that lineup. He's not. He really is not living up to his ADP. And you really would like to have stronger players in there than a guy like Jayshawn Tate, but even he's outperformed Robert Covington right now. So that says a lot. That says a lot. Jayshawn Tate is a top 100 player right now, and even still, I mean, he just, you don't expect him to be outperforming Robert Covington. So Oladipo is in and out of the lineup. I heard Oladipo turned down a 2-year, $45 million contract offer from extension offer from Houston. So I don't know what that means, but it sounds like he could be traded soon.
Yeah, I don't know. At this point, I think Oladipo is probably going to ask to get paid in some type of cryptocurrency because he's just all over the place, man. And I just don't know what his value is. And he looks great. Like, he looked great in the beginning, with Indiana, right? But I know, his comfort there, and they've got, a lot of talent. But now in Houston, for a game, he looked good. But, he hasn't looked so hot, so the inconsistencies is not going to make a team want to, open the bag for him. So my 2 cents.
Agreed. But like I said, when they traded him, I didn't like this trade for Oladipo. I didn't think Houston was going to be a good place for him. And maybe he's simply agreeing, and I think he wants to come to New York, Kyle. That's what I think. I think New York might be in his future in the offseason.
You willing to give him that max deal?
No.
What are we talking about? Let's talk the numbers. Let's talk these numbers. New York has a history of giving guys big name guys.
That was in the past, Kyle. That was in the past.
I feel like that line has been said quite a lot in New York.
New York is a new day in New York. We're above 500.
Well, how much we signing Depot to?
Shit, I could do like a 4-year. No, whoa. I could do like a 3-year. I could do 3-year, $60 million.
That's getting competitive. I thought you were gonna say something disrespectful like a 345, and I was ready to tell you lose my number. I'm gonna go get a statue in China or something.
Nah, I could do a 3-year, $60 million.
3-year, 60 to play in New York.
Yeah, in New York.
A lot of money on the side.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
360. I think Depot
could pursue his career.
Yep, Depot would be silly to pass. Yeah, I think that's a solid deal.
I think so too. Let's move on to the next matchup. We both had the Celtics in that one. Titanes de San Juan taking on another team that's been making some waves, the Kings. What do you see going on in this matchup here?
Man. I don't know, man. I really don't know. Every time I think I've figured these teams out, I'm just off, and I'm just wrong, man. I'm just surprised at what they're both able to do. They just are two of the biggest roller coasters we've got in this league.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, of the two teams, you see all the star power when it comes to King's Landing with Steph and Bradley Beal, even LaMelo Ball, who's a top 40 player right now. And then Bam, right? Bam's been really good. He's been really, really good. But the problem I see again is just the supporting cast. Supporting cast of the Kings is just not up to par. So Aaron Gordon's not in the lineup. They do get Dragic back. That's going to help. And hopefully, with the addition of Dragic and House in the lineup, maybe that gives them enough to compete with Donovan Mitchell and Gobert, and PJ Washington's still trying to get his feet under him. Boucher's been better, but not like great. But he's been good. Still top 20 overall. He's strong. It's a hard one because both of these teams are surprising. They've done some surprising things these past few weeks. But I think I'm gonna go with the Kings here, as you did as well.
With the Kings as well.
Frankfurt, the 17ers. They've been hot.
Hot streak.
They've been
not just winning, they taking names.
Yeah,
taking names.
And the Kalanick, they're kind of they looked like they was getting hot for a little bit and not so much anymore. Russell Westbrook putting up the numbers, but his efficiency is just rotten. John Morant, same thing. John Morant just hasn't been as good as he was last year.
I'm calling him Ja Rule until he starts putting up numbers. That's my man, Ja Rule.
Yeah, man. Meanwhile, Fred VanVleet still been really good. Kristaps in and out of the lineup. Vooch, always reliable. But yeah, Chris Paul and Lonzo Ball and guy who's not on here, De'Aaron Fox. They're just too much right now. They're just too much for anybody, I think.
Yeah, sneaky good, man.
Yeah,
sneaky good.
I'm going with Frankfurt here. You went with NYK. Explain why.
I don't know why. Probably just flipped a coin and just said, you know what? If it's heads, it's Kalanick. If it's tails, it's Kalanick. I basically decided I was not gonna go with the 17ers. I was on my Charles. I was on my Charles Barkley, man. I'm just out here in my shack, man. I'm just hating, man. I'm still bitter about the loss that the 17ers gave us, a couple weeks back, and something ain't right. Something ain't right.
Yeah, well, I mean, the NY does have a 1-game advantage over them, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see which versions of these teams show up.
Yeah.
Cranston Killers taking on Rucker Park Busters. Busters trying to get into the playoffs.
Matchup of the week.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think?
This is prime time right here, man.
Prime time.
This is prime time. Ooh, man, just look at the names on this page, man. Can we?
Sensational.
Man, you don't get players like this in every matchup. Man, this was a tough one to pick, man. This was a very tough one to pick.
It was.
I still don't feel confident in my choice, man. But I mean, Kawhi Leonard, the Claw, is playing amazing right now. The Greek Freak. I heard my pops say today. I didn't see the game. My pops was telling me. He's like, yeah, the Greek Freak is turning a page. They can't use the wall against him no more. You know, I saw what he was doing. He was still getting through and dunking, and they're using him off the ball. This year is going to be different. Shooting 3 threes. Yeah. Yeah, we the same person. I'm like, Dad, stop listening to those analysts. They're awful. Don't listen to those guys.
He's right in a sense. He's right in a sense, though. But only in breaks of concentration. So when the wall is up, the wall is up. And the problem with Giannis that I see right now is he's not. I don't know if it's an analytics thing or coaching thing. I don't know what it is, but I see some moments where he can take a nice mid range, and he doesn't take it. He'll take the 3, and he's making them, but that mid range is so important to his game. And I know mid range is like a bad word for analytics people in the league right now, but he has the opportunity. I tell you what, some of those plays, if you switch Middleton with Giannis, as much as Giannis is handling the ball, if Middleton's coming off some of those curls and sees that wall and they're dropping back on him, that won't happen. They're not dropping back at him. So Giannis needs to take that shot. He needs to feel more comfortable taking that shot, because anybody else would take it. If that was Drew Holiday, if that was, even Brook Lopez, he would take that shot. Giannis needs to take that shot, or else that wall is going to be, it's going to keep working on him.
Yeah, you got my brain going. So I'm thinking about that, right? So from the mid-range, he would have to shoot about 50% on his 2-pointers, right? So that expected value would be about 50% to that 1 point, right? So he would essentially get 1 point for every 2-pointer he shot if he could shoot it at 50%. In comparison to a 3, the equivalent of a 3, he would have to shoot 33% from the 3. I don't know what Giannis is shooting from the 3 right now, but you know, the 3-point shot would be a great shot if he can shoot it. If he can make it 1 every 3 times.
I saw him hit a few today.
But is he shooting it, efficiently at that 1 for 3? But the 1 for 3.
I think there's a stat. I think he's actually shooting. He's shooting worse than he did in every category than he did last year.
So that's sort of all across the board. Because the other thing I was going to say is, right, he's 1 for 3 from 3-point line, right, which is the equivalent of shooting 50% from 2. However, he's not going to get 9 3-pointers. And if he goes 3 for 9, like, is he going to miss 6 in a row and then hit 3? And that 3 is like in the beginning. Whereas the 2s, right, you get the points in bunches, right? You kind of get, 4 points here, maybe misses the next 2, but another 4 is coming, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't have these cold stretches. And I think that's not in the analytics, or I don't hear it talked about, right? Like this momentum, that happens, when people are missing 3s, long rebounds and things of that sort.
Today he took 7 threes today. He only hit 2 of them. So they're daring him to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
He's shooting it. But the problem, I think the problem again is that he needs to take that same approach when it comes to mid range.
Hmm.
Because I don't see, if he's taking those threes and making those threes, I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be able to hit the mid range. Anything 15 feet or around the basket, obviously, it should be good money for him.
Mid range. I mean, it's a tough. I mean, because remember, you taking a dribble with that mid range, right? And
yeah,
I remember, one of the first things I learned in basketball was the minute you take a dribble, your shooting percentage drops by like 25%. Right. I think a professional basketball player is supposed to be, a lot better.
I get that, but if you look at the quality of threes that Giannis is getting, they're all transition threes or like some step back three because somebody decided they were going to run out. He doesn't take like a lot of catch and shoot threes. They're all like he's
I wouldn't want him to shoot any catch and shoot threes.
No, that's not how you set them up. So all those threes are usually off the dribble.
You know what else I'm disappointed in this game? I don't see much post ups. It's and don't get me wrong, it's been a while since I've watched, but I'm like, he's like the biggest guy on the court. He's supposed to be Shaq.
Yeah.
Why isn't he posting up? Are you saying he doesn't have any moves? Because that's what that tells me. Because
what happens is if he posts up, he's immediately double or triple teamed.
Perfect, and you get open threes.
Yeah,
there's
no reason to not play him in the post.
That's what LeBron did, right? With the Cavs.
Yeah, I don't see. He's a good enough passer.
It's bizarre, man.
Anyway, Jrue Holiday's back. He didn't play well today, but he's back. That's going to be a positive for Rucker Park. Jimmy Butler in not the lineup, but when he plays, it's been great. Kawhi, as you mentioned, has been outstanding. And then Drummond, man, this thing with Drummond, they need to hurry up and figure out what's going to happen with Drummond.
That's some bullshit, man.
Yeah. On the other side, Pascal Siakam looks like he's going to be out for a while, at least till around or after the All-Star break. And yeah, other than that, I mean, D'Angelo Russell's out for Cranston, but other than that, I think they should have enough where they're moderately competitive. But seeing as how they've been performing these last couple of weeks, I don't think it's a mistake that Rucker Park can win this matchup.
Yeah, and that's a good point because they're shooting close to 80% from the free throw line now, which is respectable. Actually, not. I mean, more than respectable. I mean, it's solid.
Yeah.
Definitely. So,
last matchup: Solid State and Syracuse. Don't have to spend much time on this one. Solid State should be able to take care of business. It's just not a whole lot going on when you're looking at Syracuse. DeLon Wright is out. That leaves DeJounte Murray and Jeremy Grant really to be the ones carrying this team. That's just not enough against two All-Stars, James Harden and Sabonis, and guys like Collins and Collins and Colin Sexton, the two Collins.
Yeah, like the Syracuse Sparrows. Like I'm looking at those names. It looks like you got like the 50th pick each round. Like this is like a 50 team league. Like or he was given an unfair budget. Like he was only given $50, whereas all the other teams had 500. Man, I can't believe the names. Those are the 5 best names we got on the Sparrows.
I'm afraid so.
Needs a couple more rookie draft picks.
Unless you want to see like Precious or Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson's on this team, but obviously he's not playing this season.
Precious? I haven't heard the name Precious. Precious in a minute.
Precious Achua. 14-7 tonight, by the way.
Ooh, spicy.
Brandon Clark was good tonight, 16-12. He hasn't been playing great recently, but had a good night tonight.
Up and down. Somebody had to have a good night because my man Ja Rule had like 2 points when I was, tracking in the third quarter. Yet the Memphis Grizzlies was up by 30.
Yeah, and quickly, man, quickly's might be their other guy who can do some things for them. But I mean, realistically, it's just not. It's not in their cards. They'll be a bottom 3 team for the rest of the way going. All right. Well, that concludes our matchups for week 11. We'll see how this actually plays out. We've got a pretty much like a 2-week kind of thing because it's All-Star weekend coming up. So I don't know. Killer week probably I don't know. We could talk about what we're gonna do for the rest of this week, but if we don't see you this weekend, we'll see you next weekend. Until then, as always, engage with the community, y'all. Hit us up. Drop us a line. Tell us what you want to hear about. Send us some questions or something. You know what I mean? Like, we got a poll out there right now trying to figure out that IL spot. Let us know what you think. Oh, we got something else on the board too. Frankfurt Flyers asks about what we want to do as far as expanding the amount of keepers that we allow going into the season. You have any preliminary thoughts on that?
Yeah, I like the idea that you can keep your full roster, especially given the new rules with the luxury tax. I think it's pretty awesome, right? I think it makes it flexible for teams to navigate and figure out how to build, their dynasty team for a couple of years. So yeah, I really like it, and it's also a way for players to think a little bit longer with some of their acquisitions or some of the moves or trades that they make. So yeah, I really like the idea. I think early on, we were a bit concerned about, folks, being new to fantasy and unsure about how to construct rosters and what the impact of inflation would be, et cetera. We still wanted to give people a real shot, a real opportunity to recover from any big mistakes. But I think people got the flow. They really understand what's going on, and I think I think it's a reasonable change. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I like the idea to expand, and a team feels like, look, I want to run it back with the squad, the full roster, whether that be for budgetary reasons or, just because they like their players. I have no problem with it. Like you said, we were trying to make sure that there was enough opportunity for players to be recycled in the league, and that it didn't ruin the quality of the free agency pool. But the way things have gone with the salary cap going up, and then given the fact that you still have that budget constraint, you also have the 4-player minimum, and you also have things like the rookie draft that I think will come into play. So there is opportunity, and we are seeing we saw a big uptick in off-season moves this last season. So there's still opportunity to get some player movement in the league. And so yeah, I like it. I like the idea. And I think that's something that we could see happen as early as next season.
Nice.
All right. Well, as always, it's been real. Congratulations to all the winners this week, and good luck to everyone in next week. Enjoy your All-Star weekend.
Hello sunshine, hello darkness.
Peace.
Sometimes I smile, sometimes heartless. Cursed to finish what I started. Got my third eye on the target. Yo, I'm in love with this music. This is not plutonic.